Kevin, speaking of camps, you gave us a little bit of a look into what was on campus Wednesday. So what was that all about?
Yeah, it was their first of their 6 team camps, their high school team camps. On Tuesday, they had the younger kids in, but they're splitting the sessions. They're doing big men, offensive line, defensive line in the morning, and then they're doing everybody else in the afternoon. Yet, there are some exceptions. We saw Ohio State prospect Christian Miller. He was there in the afternoon, even though he should have gone in the morning, going through some paces with Larry Johnson. But, much smaller camps than we're used to seeing because of the splits and just how things are set up, which, made it a little bit easier for us to kind of keep track of what was going on. 5 offers ended up coming out of the camp, 1 for 2022 with defensive tackle Kenneth Grant, and then 4 in the class of 2023, 2 going out to quarterbacks, Eli Holstein out of Louisiana, and then let me pull up my phonetic guide here, and then a California quarterback, Nico Iamaleauvu, who is a cousin of starting Clemson quarterback DJ, and I'm not going to mess up that last name because I didn't prepare for that.
Go for it, Mark.
Uyangalele?
Yeah, there you go. I'll just say yes. And then a couple of cornerback offers went out as well. So, it's good to see those camp offers happening, both in 22 and 23. We got to see a lot of talented players out there, and we've got camps coming up the 8th, 9th, 15th, 16th, and 22nd. But, I'll kind of toss it over to Steve as well. Just, a lot to take in.
Yeah, I was there primarily for the morning session, and have to say there weren't a lot of great offensive linemen who were there. I think the defensive linemen kind of outshined them a little bit, I would say, and for Kenneth Grant to get his offer. It's interesting that they have camp going on. NCAA also allowing, since there was no in-person evaluation for the last year, they are allowing basically one-on-one limited workouts with assistant coaches and prospects. So that's the player that Kevin was talking about, Kristen Miller, a 2022 prospect, I believe out of Georgia, was there. And he and Larry Johnson, in between the 2 camp sessions, had a one-on-one workout where he went through all the defensive line position drills. And it's so intense. I mean, you think about it, I believe he had an offer from Ohio State previously, but I think it may have also been a situation where he was encouraged to come in and work out one-on-one with Larry Johnson to kind of reaffirm the committable nature of that offer, so to speak. And I think that both sides came away very impressed with how it all worked out. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Miller is an addition to this class at some point. He looked very good on the hoof to me. And of course, low my many years of coaching the defensive line at the college level. But he seemed very, very strong defensive line prospect. Another guy was Gabriel Harris, 2023 prospect from Thomasville, Georgia, which is in southern Georgia, about 40 miles from Tallahassee. He committed to Florida State back in February, but he is a big Chase Young fan and by proxy, a big Ohio State fan. And he said, I wanted to come to Ohio to see what it was all about. And said the weather didn't bother him in Ohio. It was cold and rainy on Wednesday, and they had this camp. It was like 60 degrees and raining in Columbus. But said the weather doesn't bother me. Was not offered at the camp. But again, he can't sign anywhere for 18 months. So my guess is Larry Johnson and Ryan Day and Kerry Combs, coordinator on that side of the ball, want to see some junior film of Gabriel Harris before they make an offer. Plus, he's a little bit lean, 6'4", 235, and I would think that they probably went for Big Ten defensive end to be closer to that 260, 255 range thereabouts, just because you get swallowed up by those huge offensive tackles in the Big Ten if you're in that 230, 240 range. And so I think that may be something that they're going to follow him and see how he grows and develops perhaps over the next year. And, again, he's number 88 player, something like that, in the country in the 2023 class, committed to Florida State. I said if Ohio State made him an offer, that'd be awfully difficult to turn down. So kind of a guy to watch for the future, I think. Now, they did, as Kevin outlined, they did offer a couple of quarterbacks this camp with Nicholas Leva and Eli Holstein. Eli Holstein, to me, was kind of interesting. Somebody said, you're looking for Eli. He's the guy who looks just like Joe Burrow. And then a family member went up to Bill Kurelic during the course of the camp and said, well, yeah, he looks like Joe Burrow, but he's probably a little more athletic than Joe Burrow. And Bill Kurelic about fell over and died when he heard that. So sure he is. Right. No problem. So, but great to get those guys on campus, and obviously Ryan Day and Corey Dennis and Kevin Wilson, the brain trust on the offensive side. They had 8 or 10 quarterbacks, maybe more, maybe closer to 15 at that camp on Wednesday. And a couple of them have some offers other places that they didn't offer. So I think Nicholas Leva, he's a national top 50, 55 guy. Holstein is right around 120 or so, I think, in the deposit. So, neither of them ranked as high as Quinn Ewers, who is. He's number 1. But these are guys that would come in the year after in 2023 and be the next guy on the list at Ohio State. So, obviously, a long way to go for those guys until the final letter again.
I'll jump in real quick with Gabriel Harris and his offer status. And I think part of that is that Ohio State kind of wants to see if Gabriel Harris really is looking around. I mean, he is committed to Florida State at this point, and if he decides to open it up and keep looking, I think that Ohio State offer will be there right then and there. But conversely, Ohio State isn't just going to throw an offer out to throw an offer out, and that doesn't mean that schools won't offer commits of other schools just to kind of test things. That happens all the time, but the ball is really in Harris's court right now. And if he makes some sort of movement to make it look like he's receptive to the Ohio State offer, I don't think one could be too far away. And I did kind of want to jump on Ryan's question about impressive or surprising player. Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle out of Indiana, I was very surprised with him. Probably going to need some work in Coach Mick's strength and conditioning program, but the cat could move. I was very impressed with him. Another player that was on campus is Florida commit Julian Humphrey, defensive back. He'd been wanting to visit Ohio State. World shut down, never really got the opportunity, committed to Florida not all that long ago. He certainly has the look, but I think that if you just sit there and you look at all the kids that were there between the 2 sessions or whatever, maybe take Christian Miller off the table since he's already a known quantity and going to be taking an official visit to Ohio State later in June. I mean, I'm always going to start and stop with Sonny Styles, the defensive back out of Pickerington. Sure, he's my neighbor, lives, probably 5 minutes from my house. He just has the look. I mean, he certainly got more than enough attention of people watching him, even going through warm-ups or whatnot. What is he going to be at the next level? I mean, it may not be the same position by a junior year as a freshman year, just because he just is. He's big. He's built. I mean, he has 2 years of high school football to go. But it's certainly hard not to have your eye drawn to Sonny Styles anytime he steps on the field.
I saw Sonny play 3 games last year. Pickerington Central was one of the best teams in the country, although they got absolutely shellacked in the championship game by St. X. It was 30-0 at halftime, and I left because it wasn't going to be worth sticking around in the cold to watch Pick Central get beat even worse. But I think I saw them play Newark and Lancaster, 2 teams that were not very good last year, and all they can do is run the football. And so as a safety, he was not really involved much in either of those games coming up. And I think what you're going to see this year is he'll be moved probably closer to the line of scrimmage against teams that run the football so they can have an impact. Also, they played Pickerington North in the first game of the year. It was on television, and he broke through a blocked punt, showed some great for a touchdown in that game. And everybody knows about his brother, Lorenzo Styles Jr., both of them the son of Lorenzo Styles, who played linebacker for Ohio State 91 to 94, I think, or 92 to 94, something like that. And he might have left school a year early to go to the NFL after 94. And he was from Farrell, Pennsylvania, just across the Ohio border originally, Lorenzo the dad, and came to Ohio State, picked the Buckeyes, and did play a few years in the NFL. I think he went to the Rams for a few years, bounced around a little bit, but now known much better in these circles for throwing a pair of outstanding athletes. I think they've got an outstanding basketball player as well. So the two of them, Lorenzo's going to play at Notre Dame as a wide receiver, I think, and as an offensive player, a skilled player, and a returner. And now you've got Sonny, who, could he follow in his brother's footsteps at Notre Dame or follow in his dad's footsteps at Ohio State, which is only 20 minutes from his house. Looked like he was at home there at Ohio State when he was there. He also plays basketball. I followed him on the basketball circuit, Ohio Red, one of the top basketball programs. And he's on a great team that is in what you call, I guess, the 16U edition, which is guys who are going into their junior year of high school, not the highest level of AAU, but the next lower level for guys who are going to be high school juniors. They have one of the best teams in the country, and he's part of it. So would he be a Big Ten basketball player? I'm not sure, because I've never seen him really shoot threes, and at 6'4", he'd have to be able to shoot threes, but he is an amazing athlete. Let me tell you, great defender and very strong. And I'm interested in seeing what he does this coming year as a junior at Pick Central. Do they put him in position to make plays, against the throw, against the run, whatever? I want to see more out of him, I guess, this coming year.